And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, hello to everyone, and especially hello to George. George is back. Keto George is with us. God bless Keto George. Look at him. Look at him flex. God damn it. You're looking good there, son. You're looking good. You sexy savage, you.
Jeez.
I missed you, beautiful bastards.
You know what? That's what I want to hear, baby. Well, it's good to have you back there, George. And my man Josh is ready to talk about nothing but fights because we have PFL, Bellator, and the UFC from Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You've been there.
Yep.
Do you like it?
You know, actually, it was actually a lot more pleasant than I thought it was going to be. I was just expecting it to be just so much more different than the U.S., which it was. But, man, the food was really good. And I don't know. I don't know what I had in mind.
The food throughout the Middle East is really good.
I was just like, wow, this I could eat this every single day, all day. You know, like it was so damn good. So the food was really good. People were extremely nice. Extremely nice. I won't say much about the driving though. Their driving's a little sus.
It's not like the Philippines though.
No. They can drive really well. They just have so many of them in this little tiny space that they drive on the sidewalk, they drive on the curbs, they drive over people, they drive. Yeah. So I spent some time in the Philippines myself, and it's a little crazy.
It's nuts.
It's a little crazy. You know what's worse than the Philippines? Jakarta.
Really?
Yes. Jakarta is wow. Like you think the Philippines don't know how to drive? Man, though they don't even care. There's no laws. They do whatever they want. It's
the best is if you go to certain places in Africa though, they just run into your car. They'll bump you out of the way. And use the some of these cars though, it's like, how in the world is that thing still running?
Oh, they'll make it work.
Oh my God.
They'll make it work.
These people are geniuses.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
Duct tape, shit, I can do anything with it. I'll make you a fucking boat. I'll make you a plane. I'll put your car back together.
Absolutely.
And it'll be flexible when the guy runs into it.
John, it's crazy, isn't it? Right here in the States, man. If I get a ding on my car, I'm like, just trade it in.
Oh yeah.
That's
pissed off.
Legit, just like it doesn't even feel like the same car once it's got a dent in it. I'm like, yeah, forget it. It's over. Just throw it away.
That's one of the things I loved about Japan.
Oh,
notice no cars with dents.
No cars with dents, but then you didn't realize how many just millions and billionaires are there because everyone's driving a Mercedes and a Maserati and a Maybach and all this other stuff, man. It was crazy in Japan. I spent a lot of time I was in 6 months in China.
Yeah.
And they did some things with the scooter I never thought I'd see done.
Oh, dude.
They stacked so many like crates on there. They've got like 5 kids on there while they got the crates and the vegetables hanging off.
Don't put a goddamn bull on
a
fucking 125cc motorbike with the family sitting on top of it.
Absolutely. And it'll get there. It'll get there a little slow, but it'll get there.
NASA has nothing on these people.
No,
nothing.
They're remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. This is what you do. You've got to figure things out.
Got to make it happen.
Something that Americans have lost over the years. We're just like, screw it, throw it away. We'll buy a new one. Unless you're living like John's era and past. John's era still kind of knows what the importance of trying to like, hey, if it's broken, let's fix it. My era, not so much. We're like, we were the era of like just getting ready to get spoiled a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. And then when it got past us, we're like the last
blew up
kind of great generation, and then the rest are just all falling apart. just disaster. Just a disaster. Look, we got so much to talk about, though. But before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors over at BetUS for continuously sponsoring us and always taking care of us. We want to thank them so much. Check out their betting odds. We're going to go ahead and drop down some betting odds for you guys, though, also this show, because they actually, I think we're going to have to look that up real quick. They're supposed to be having the PFL and the Bellator odds up as well. And I think in 15 minutes, which was about 15 minutes ago, they will have the Mike Perry and Jake Paul odds up as well. So maybe we can have George read those off to us when we get to that portion of it all. But look, that was something that we talked about already. But we're going to go ahead and talk about the betting odds on this show here as well for that. But you know what? This is the way we do it. I want to make sure that everyone understands. But before we get started, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. There's also a link down below. It takes you to our YouTube Extras channel, which is our Clips channel. Hit that subscribe button over there as well so you get as much content from us as you possibly can. I want to thank you guys. We also opened up our subscriptions. So we are doing $1.99 for the emoji next to your name, and we hit the comments because we're doing some live shows coming up. And so you guys with the emojis will get a little bit more priority in asking questions when we do our live shows.
No. A lot more priority because we were just talking about this.
Well,
and I love when people, because I don't read them, but Josh does, they go to the comments and they complain about, well, I just want to know about this. Well, see, if you were one of those people that actually became part of the membership here, we would care. And we would actually listen to what you're saying.
We do care. Don't let John scare you guys away. Okay, guys? Look, I'm the kind one in this whole relationship, just so you guys remember this thing. So it's going to be $1.99 for the emoji and then into the comment sections that I've seen throughout so many other YouTube channels. And then we're offering a $4.99 where we're going to actually do giveaways for you guys. So there will be some monthly giveaways, whether it's weighing in t-shirts, whether it's signed memorabilia, whatever it is. We'll try to do a couple giveaways each month. And at least one, each month for you guys for the $4.99 membership account. So please subscribe down below. Those are available now for you guys. There's a $1.99 for the emoji in the comments, just so we can prioritize your guys' questions when we're doing live chats. And then also the $4.99 will be actually to include you guys into the memorabilia giveaways or even just, some apparel from weighing in. So I want to thank you guys, man. You guys have been rocking. You guys hit up our comment section. I love what you guys are doing. Majority of you guys are keeping it positive, and John and I, even though he doesn't read it, but I read it and I tell him about it. And
he does.
I'm actually I'm very happy that you guys continue to support us. Look, we're going to be trying to have a lot more guests on the show as well, and trying to start booking them. We had a run there where we had, Art Davey. We've got, we've had other people on there. We've had a lot of good guests on. So as of lately, so I want to try to keep that run going on. We had Islam on, of course, but look, let's try to keep this run going. And we're trying to grow this show as much as we possibly can. And I want to thank you guys. We can't do it without you guys. So share our content and thank you. But we know how we do this is we're going to go ahead and break this in. We start off with whichever show comes first. And I believe this week it's the PFL was on Friday night, correct?
PFL is on Friday night.
And Bellator is during the day.
Utah.
Bellator is during the day, and that is in Dublin, Ireland. So that is kind of around 9:30, 10 in the morning. And then I know that the UFC, I believe, is at noon. On Saturday as well. So they're kind of against each other, for the Riyadh show. So, but we're going to go PFL, and then we're going to go Bellator, and then we're going to go to the UFC. So we normally do them in the way that the order of the fights show up. So if a show comes on Thursday, we'll talk about that first. Just want to give you guys a heads up for those of you guys that are searching for one certain kind of content or whatever it is. All right, guys?
Scrubbers in this world.
Scrubbers in this world. We don't like to condone those type of people, but we understand. We understand. So, all right. So let's go ahead and jump right into the PFL, my man. John, is there anything else you wanted to add? Anything else you want to say?
No. We're all good. Just
okay.
You got to sign up if you want us to care.
Yeah. Man, you're ruthless, bro. I'm over here, pitching these guys. All right, guys. Hey, man, just hit the subscribe button. I want to thank you guys. Let's go ahead and go PFL. The main event. Going to be a good main event, man. Clay Collard and Mads Burnell, John.
It'll be a good main event if someone fights intelligently. Let's just be honest. Clay Collard is a guy that we know has got outstanding stand-up. He goes to the body as well as anybody in MMA with his stand-up. He attacks the body. He breaks people down. He's tough as hell. He'll take shots. He'll get knocked on his butt himself, but get right back up and get back at it. If he has a weakness, it is the ground. Yes, he used to wrestle when he was a kid, but I don't care. His wrestling is not at the level of other guys in that. And that's where if they're going to do something with him, they take him off of his feet, take him out of being dangerous. And that's what Mads Burnell needs to do. Mads Burnell has got an outstanding submission game. His stand-up, he loves to bang. He likes to be that. I call him Joe Frazier because he sits there and he comes inside, rocking his head back and forth and throwing big hooks to the body and things like that. He does not want to get into a stand-up battle with Clay Collard. It's not a good idea. It's not a smart fighting plan if you're going to look at it. And you've got an incredible submission game. Go after taking this man down and work the submissions. Go with what brung you.
Yeah, I would agree with you. But look, Clay, like when he loses to wrestlers, he loses to guys that are really good wrestlers. And Mads is not a great wrestler. He's got good jiu-jitsu.
I agree.
He's got good jiu-jitsu. So if he can get this fight to the ground, but to what expense do you give that? You risk it? Because if you keep trying to get the takedown and keep pushing for the takedown and you don't get it, now you're just a sitting duck on the feet, against someone like Clay Collard. He is so explosive on the feet. He puts his combinations together well, and he's got a good enough chin to take whatever Mads Burnell has to deliver.
Absolutely. And what was in Mads' last fight? What happened?
Just got outboxed.
No.
Wait.
No.
What happened? Let me see.
Well, it was a submission that ended up
that's
the thing. But what happened?
He got cut with the guillotine.
He got fucking hit to the body and went down with
John's
that shot
got
to the
photographic
body.
memory, guys. Don't hold it.
And with that, then he got guillotine choked, because when you get hit to the body good, everything shuts down. Your brain kind of shuts off thinking about, oh my God, I'm dying. Someone's stabbing me. And, you can be submitted even though you're a good submission guy.
Yeah.
He cannot be on the feet with Clay Collard for more than half of a round. He can't do it. It's his way. It's the way of defeat. I would rather see you diving for takedowns and making Clay have to defend them all than trying to be in a stand-up battle with him.
But let's also talk about the fact that Clay Collard, he's not a big guy, but he's a decent size for 155.
Yeah.
Mads Burnell is not a big guy.
No, he normally comes at 145.
Yeah, I mean, he's even fought at 135, I believe.
No, did he?
Yeah, I think in the UFC, I don't know if he made the weight, but I think he had taken a fight in the UFC at 135. Then he fought at 145, and then then he was obviously in Bellator at 145, I believe.
He fought at Bellator at 155 and 145, but mostly 145.
Yes, he had most of his success at 145. So for him being at 55, Clay's a big guy for the weight class, and I'm thinking that Mads got to make sure he tries to get this thing on the ground. Mads is good on the ground. I've grappled him. I've trained with him. I know he's pretty strong for the size. And it actually shocked me with how strong he was when I trained with him. He was still at 145. And I was thinking to myself, man, you're pretty strong for being such a small guy. Short in stature, but thick arms, and thick legs. He delivers good combinations on the feet. He just does not want to be standing too long with Clay Collard. And I would agree with you. Did it with you.
Yeah.
Next fight.
Impa Kasanganay against Jacob Nedoh. This is Impa coming back into the tournament and, the season. Mm-hmm. And, he did great in his first one. This is a great matchup for him. Nedoh won the BFL Europe, got the $100,000 last year. That's what got him into the global tournament. But he's going against the guy that won the global tournament last time. And Impa has not been slowing down. He obviously had a loss against Johnny Eblin at the start of the year. That has done nothing to derail. He is a hell of an athlete. And I honestly think he fights better at 205 than he does at 185. I think the weight cut has some effect. He does not get tired at 205. He carries the weight well. He's strong. He's not huge as far as the stature of his body as far as length and stuff, but he doesn't need it because he just keeps on marching forward and laying down, big shots, and he's got power. So this is in my opinion, it's a good fight, but Impa is definitely the guy you got to look at as being the favorite in this fight.
Yeah, I would agree with you because all I heard from when he was about to fight Johnny Eblin was, oh, he doesn't get tired. He's got a gas tank for days. Well, in that fight, he got tired. Oh, yeah. And Johnny Eblin's known for his cardio as well. And that was the fight at 185 when they fought. Yep. And so now him going back up to 205, I think he's not a tall guy. He's not a real big guy, but he's got really thick legs, got kind of a thicker trunk.
Oh, he's put together.
He's built like a Greek god, like a smaller version of a Czech Congo, I guess I'd say, something like that.
Very, very similar.
And so, I mean, you look at him, looks like he's chiseled out of rock. It's insane. So I think that he's going to have a pretty easy go right into the what do you call it, semifinals or to
get into the postseason.
Yep, you're going to get into that postseason era though. But like he's definitely a better fighter, I think, at 205.
Yeah.
Next fight,
Patricky Pitbull coming back after a loss to Clay Collard against Bruno Miranda, a fellow Brazilian, matching up well. Bruno is good with his hands, much better on, as far as on his feet. He's decent on the ground, normally doesn't go to it. Same with Patricky. He's a black belt, but he doesn't go to his ground game. He likes to be the guy standing up, knocking people out. This should be, as you look, it should be a banger's ball. They should be going after each other with big shots. Either guy could knock the other guy out. They both have been rattled before, but Patricky normally, stands pretty tall. He got TKO'd by Clay Collard, but I would say that Bruno is the younger guy. That's always a good thing, but against Patricky, I think he's going to have that little thing in the back of his head, because being a fellow Brazilian, he's been watching Patricky for a long time, and he's going to have a little bit of respect that sometimes is good to have. Sometimes it kind of affects your performance, because look who I'm fighting.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing is that if this fight goes past a round and a half, it's going to lean more toward Miranda. Patricky hasn't looked the same in terms of when he starts getting outside of that first round into that second round. If there's any type of pace whatsoever, he's not the same fighter anymore.
Halfway point of the second round,
yeah,
he drops off now.
Yep. And there's not a lot of push. He just lets the fight happen in front of him, and it's almost like he has had so many big time fights. And I think it's getting to that point where he's going to have to start making a decision here soon. Now, he can still fight. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah.
But just the output is not there. And that's what happens when you get to that 38, 37, 38, 39 range. You start having the output. It's not so much you feel like you can do it. You can do the cardio all you want. Your just recovery is not the same. And we're seeing that from him right now. He gives some output, hard output, big exchanges. And it's like that step back of, oh, man, I got to let my body refuel. And we're seeing that from him.
Yes, that's what happened in the Clay Collard fight. Look, he put Clay Collard down with a good shot. Clay was hurt and went after him, couldn't put him away. And from that point, never recovered from that output. And so you're absolutely right. But, Miranda had he had the fight against Brent Primus, and Primus fought the right way, take him to the ground, work on him on the ground. I would say that would be a smart thing for Patricky to do, but he will not do that.
No, he won't. Next fight.
Great fight, I think. Rob Wilkinson going up against Josh Silveira. Josh coming out of ATT, his dad being one of the coaches there. Marcus Silveira, Conan, that is his dad, and so he will be in his corner. But Rob Wilkinson has just been absolutely outstanding in the PFL. He had the big fight with Thiago Santos when Thiago came over. He won that one. Came out this season, won his first fight. He's good. He's very difficult to take down. He's good in the stand-up. He takes a good shot. He delivers a good shot. Josh Silveira, good wrestler coming out of ASU. He needs to get Rob Wilkinson on his back. It will definitely change the flow of this fight. If he can do that, I'm just not too sure he's going to be able to get him down.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have, I don't know if he has the strength really to get the fight to the ground. He may be able to get it and grit it out. He lost in the finals last year, I believe, right? To Impa.
Yeah, he lost to Impa.
So Josh Silveira lost in the finals last year to Impa. And he, there's days where he shows up and he's got the grit in him.
And he looks really good.
He looks really good. And there's days he shows up and you're like, where did that last guy go?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And so Wilkinson,
but everyone has one of those.
They do.
You're going to have those days. It's the greats that get past that without people really even noticing it. It was not a good night for them, but they still, found a way to win.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to do.
The next fight, though, is going to be good. Yagshimuradov versus Simon Biyong.
Yeah, it is. In my opinion, look, Simon Biyong is a hell of an athlete. Big, strong, got length. Yagshimuradov is just the better wrestler, and he is fast for the weight. He's not very big for the weight class, but he's fast for it. He's got a lot of spinning attacks, but he can wrestle. And if there's one thing that is a deterrent when it comes to Biyong, is his wrestling is not that good.
Yeah, I think Biyong's going to make him work a little bit though in the wrestling, because Yagshimuradov isn't someone who doesn't really commit to the wrestling. He doesn't. He doesn't set it up. It just almost like he landed something, a clean shot. Let me just try this takedown. If it doesn't work, I'll just back out. There's not a lot of commitment out of the wrestling portion of him. Now he can wrestle. He's got good hip toss, good foot sweeps. He is good in that clinch area with the overhook and the underhook. He does a really good job.
More of a Greco-Roman style of takedown.
Yes, exactly. And Simon Biyong is someone who, if he has open space, he can get after you on the feet. He can make you second guess on your shots. What you will see from Yagshimuradov is a lot of big overhand rights, and he sets it up very well.
And he's also got beautiful high kicks.
Yep.
He can kick.
The spinning and high kicks come they come fluidly. Like you don't see them in transition. He waits for you to step, and then he steps his cross foot across the lead leg, and then he goes.
He allows you to create the spacing that he wants, and then it's just one quick step for him. So he's very fast with it, and it's a good setup. It really is.
John, I don't really see anyone in that weight class that can beat him. I would say maybe Impa has a chance, but I'm looking at who's in the tournament right now. And I'm like, I don't.
Antonio Carlos is going to be a tough, go for him. I really, Shoeface is good.
He is good.
He's good, and he's got solid stand up. He's got a really good ground game. If he gets on top of Yagshimuradov,
I can't support somebody with Shoeface name.
I know. I just don't get that's a horrible nickname.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
It's a horrible nickname.
Next fight, Shoeface versus Alex Polizzi.
Yeah. Look, I love Alex Polizzi. He's a gamer. He's tough as hell. He does not have the game to stop Antonio Jr., I don't think.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you. But what's very interesting to me, though, is... Oh, sorry. I was actually skipping one. But let's go to Brent Primus and Solomon Renfro.
Look, Solomon Renfro is a hell of an athlete. Very strong, very fast. It is the one thing that he's really got going for him in this fight is the speed advantage. He's going to have a huge speed advantage, but he cannot end up underneath Brent Primus, and he's going to have a bad time even if he takes Brent Primus down and is on top of Brent. He's got to be careful. Brent's good. Brent attacks. He's got a very good guard. It's an active guard. He pulls out the go-go plot all the time. He's very flexible. He doesn't look it, but he is, and he's super big for the weight class.
Yeah.
I honestly think, and this is, it's a weird thing because I always thought that Brent doesn't fight enough, and it kills me that, he's had 16 fights in basically his, career, but his experience here, he's fought the way better competition throughout his career.
Well, the way I look at though with Brent Primus is that we know that if he gets his fight to the ground, he should be able to win this fight and control it. The speed is definitely going to be a problem. But where this could end up though is as the fight goes on, if he ends up on bottom, he's got to make sure that he's trying to get back to his feet so he could try to get on top or trying to sweep. He has a big problem of just conceding the position on bottom and just keeps attacking. If he doesn't get it, he believes he can get it. It's almost like I'm going to go into the Dustin Poirier. I'm going to catch the Gilly. I can get it. Well, he's lost several fights trying to catch the gogoplata or trying to catch the omoplata or trying to catch whatever submission it is he's trying to get from the bottom at the time. And he's lost fights because of that. Instead of chasing that submission, he needs to work his way back to his feet or trying to get to a sweep position. Because him on top, his transitions from the top position are insane. Right to the back, right to the neck, right, whatever it is, arm bars. His flexibility allows him to do things that most big 55-pounders or most big fighters can't do. He's enormous for 155 pounds. Enormous. So, I think he's got a really good chance of winning this fight. The one fight that I wanted to talk about, though, was Sadabusi. The fact that he's at 205 and just lost in the finals last year at 170.
Yeah, but okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just surprised to see him at 205. I know there's not a 185-pound division. I get it.
That's it.
But, man, that's a big jump.
But he's a big dude.
Yeah.
If you see, and you take a look at him at 170 pounds, and then you take a look at him at 205, and you go, well, you didn't put any fat on. So he looks really good. He had a weird fight in his first fight. He broke his toe or his thumb, I think. Or what the hell did he break? He broke something. I can't remember if it was. I want to say his thumb. Being taken down, he broke his thumb, and so that was the end of the fight. And, but he is absolutely a devastating striker. His wrestling game has really come along. He's been at Extreme Couture working with people and getting his wrestling better. Tom Breese is good fighter, got a good submission game. Wrestling is not his strong point.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And so he's going to have a hard time getting Sadabu down. And he's going to take a lot of abuse in trying.
I'm going to give honorable mention to my boy Godzi Rabadanov. Good luck to him. He's got some good hands. He utilizes his wrestling when he feels needed, but he will mainly try to keep this fight on the feet.
Yep. You also have your boy Adam Piccolotti, the bomb, going up against Michael Dufort. We'll see how he does there. Dufort got the win against the match. This is where you look and you go, did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
Because Maz Burnell gets beat by Michael Dufort. Maz Burnell is in the main event. Michael Dufort is down the prelims.
Strange.
Where did I do wrong?
Clay Collard.
That's it.
All right, hey guys, that's going to wrap up our PFL talk. Now we're going to go ahead and jump right into the Bellator talk. But before we do that, here's honorable mentions from our sponsors over at BetUS.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
All right, guys. Hey, we're back. And look, I want to thank BetUS for continuing to support us. And let's jump right into Bellator's Championship Series in Dublin. Go ahead, John. Take this away, buddy. You got Jason Jackson.
Look, you got a hell of a main event.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Jackson being the welterweight champion for Bellator, taking on Ramazan Kuramagomedov. Look at Ramazan's good. He is a solid fighter. He is 12-0 is his record right now. I will say that I don't think that Ramazan has fought the level of competition that Jason has. Jason has fought, a who's who of competition, and Ramazan is not a guy that has fought at the same level. Jalil Willis is a good fighter. He had a great fight against him. Won that with punches on the ground and stuff. But you can take a look going down the list. So it is a step up in competition for him. The real question here is when you look at Ramazan uses his wrestling, to be the controlling factor for his fights. Is he going to be able to out wrestle? When you're taking a look, most people don't give Jason Jackson credit. He started off as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Now, I do think that Ramazan can get him down somewhere along the way, but he's going to eat a lot of shots in trying. And the length of Jason Jackson is going to give everybody problems because Jason Jackson has got a super long reach for a welterweight. It's right at 80 inches, I want to say, 79 or something like that, 80 inches. It's longer than I know what they have on the board because I've seen him get measured.
That's what she said.
It's right at 80 inches. That's a long ass welterweight reach. So
that's like me, man. I'm about 80 something inches, John. Or at least that's what she told me. All right. Look, I think Jason Jackson right now is on an all-time high. And I don't want to take anything away from Ramazan. I just simply believe, look, when you have someone like Jason Jackson who's operating on all cylinders, his fight over Yaroslav Amosov, understanding how good Yaroslav Amosov is, and knowing that like guys like Magomed Karamov, they train with Yaroslav Amosov, and we've talked to people inside ATT and like, man, that they're both really good. Styles make matchups, and we understand that. But just knowing that the level of which those guys are, I'm not sure if Ramazan is quite there at their level. At their level and the level of competition that they've had to face. He's fought good guys, but he hasn't had to fight anybody to their level yet. And so I look at that fight and I think, like, look, this is kind of just falls right into what Jason Jackson has been having to get ready for. He had to get ready for Yaroslav Amosov. And then who was he getting ready for before? Magomed Karamov. He was getting ready for him. And now he's getting ready for Ramazan. All three being very similar, but little unique differences. But the understanding of like, hey, they're going to probably try to wrestle me, or they're going to try to get me down. They're going to try to submit me, or they're going to try to control me. Yep. Nothing's really changed for him in his camp, and he's got guys like Logan Storley. He's got.
The only thing that changed for him is when he had Ray Cooper was the fill-in for Magomed Karamov.
But you're not changing anything that camp. I mean, it was literally like a week before.
Oh yeah,
2 weeks before. So he's not changing anything. He's like, look, I've already done all the work for this. So I'm going to fight my fight. And that's exactly what he did. He went out there and fought beautifully. It's going to be a good fight, though. I've yet to see Jason Jackson in a boring-ass fight. Can you give me a fight where he was boring?
I want to say the Naaman Gracie was not great.
Yeah, but there was a little drama in there, so that's why I didn't say it was.
He scratched his
He didn't
damn
scratch it.
eye.
He ripped it, John.
On the fence.
On the fence. It was split. I'm surprised the ref let him keep going, or the doctor, I should say.
The doctor, the eyelid got cut.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah. But you got to, and when I'm sitting there talking about, the difference in competition, you got to take a look. Yaroslav Amosov, hell of a fighter, just a hell of a fighter. Paul Daly.
Yeah.
Naaman Gracie, it was a fight. Benson Henderson, Jordan Mean. I mean, he went through a who's who of tough competition. NC2A champion Ed Ruth, which is his last loss, which I did not think he lost that fight. I thought he won the fight, and even being a teammate, you kind of thought he did too.
Yeah, I did. I was Ed's teammate, man. I was like, man, you got lucky today. I told Ed that in the back. Boy, I thought you lost that fight.
Yep.
Next fight.
All right. Taking a look at the co-main event is Paul Hughes, who is a new signee to Bellator. Big signing. He's very explosive fighter, taking on Bobby King. Bobby King is out of Utah, a Dwayne Ludwig stand-up Muay Thai guy. Started off as a grappler, now is really big into the stand-up. I think you're going to see a big stand-up war. Paul Hughes is a stand-up guy, so this should be a really entertaining fight. Bobby King comes to fight. Paul Hughes comes to fight. We're going to see how it ends up.
And then you got the slugfest going on right below that fight with Sinead Kavanagh and Arlene Blencowe.
Look at both of them come from a boxing background. Obviously, they both have altered their games for MMA. Sinead Kavanagh, she's tough as hell. Arlene Blencowe, tough as hell. Arlene, and both of them are getting up in age a little bit, but kind of that whole thing that you talk about. Women don't seem to age as quickly as men when it comes to falling off with the skill set. Arlene has only gotten better over time.
Yeah.
She utilizes a ground game now. Her stand-up and her boxing is outstanding. Sinead has got power in her hands. She can put anyone away. This is, if you're looking for an entertaining fight, this is going to be one on the card.
I think it's going to be a great fight. The next fight, though, to me, I think is going to be one of the most high-level fights in the game.
It's going to be interesting. Norbert Novenyi Jr., who is out of London Shoot Fighters and trains with a man called Michael Page. He has adopted the style of Michael Venom Page. He's got the hands down, jumping back and forth. Norbert Novenyi Jr.'s dad was an Olympic wrestler, a gold medalist in the Olympics. He can wrestle too. Dalton Rosta is called Hercules for a reason. He looks like Hercules. He's got good wrestling. He's got good stand-up. How is he going to deal with the in and out movement of Novenyi? That's the real question. Is he going to look for the takedowns? Novenyi is a guy that we've seen since he was 18.
Yeah.
Had some injury problems. He's 7-0. Dalton Rosta is coming off of a loss, the only loss of his career. How has he dealt with that? And what's he going to do with the awkwardness of Norbert Novenyi Jr.? That's the real question of this fight. But like you said, I think this is actually fight of the night.
John, I'm so excited for this fight.
Yeah.
Like when I saw this on the card, I was like, "Why? How is this not the co-main event?"
I know. Well, it's because of this. It's the signing. When they signed Paul Hughes, I was like, "Well, there's that one. That one's going to go up there."
You're killing me, Mike Hogan. Get your shit together, brother. Get it together.
Go ahead, yell at him. Go yell. Go ahead.
Look, I'm high on Novenyi Jr. Always have been. Dalton Ross has busted my balls a couple of times because I thought Romero Cotton was going to be able to get him. And he called me out publicly in the cage, so I had to basically chat him up a little bit afterwards. So he's a really good fighter. Dalton Rosta is a stud. He is. He got explosive hands. He for such a big guy, he moves really well. He carries a lot of muscle, so normally those fighters are real stiff. He's not a stiff fighter. He flows really well. He throws a Superman punch. I think he needs to give me some credit for that. Every time he throws it, I want a percentage of his purse, But on top of that, look, this is like you said, though, John, he's going to have to figure out the riddle of Novenyi Jr. The sideways stance, can I snatch the single without getting sidekicked to the face? Novenyi Jr. moves really well for a big guy. He's long with his kicks. He's long with his punches. And he will not be the easiest guy to take down. His dad was a Greco-Roman gold medalist.
It's hard to see when those punches are coming and where they're coming from because his hands are down. It makes it very difficult to see it.
Yep. And so, and he's still really young. I know Dalton's not old or by any means, but I'm saying Novenyi Jr., I think he's only 24, maybe 25. I mean, he's been with Bellator since he was 18. So he's still young. He might be younger than 24.
I think he's 23. No, he's 24. You're right.
He's 24. So, I mean, he's a baby, man. So he's got a lot of career left in him. He still needs a lot to develop, but man, he's fun to watch fight. Next fight.
Dara Kelly against Matthias Poiron. Dara Kelly is out of SBG. He is a good grappler, very strong, very controlling, and that's what he's going to want to do with Poiron. Poiron likes to stand up and use his elusiveness and his hands to do damage, but he's going to have a hard time keeping Dara Kelly off of him.
Yeah. John, look, this is another thing. Why is it that Hassan Magomedsharipov is always so low on the card?
Man, I'm being honest. I look at it and I go, you got a guy that, this is the brother of Zabit, and he's good. And he's he finishes people.
Yeah.
And why? Why is he down there? You need to start, pushing this guy because he's one of those ones that you go, he's going to be somebody.
This is, I think, only his second fight at 145. He used to fight at 135, and I have no idea how he made 135. I mean, he's tall,
like
he's skinny. Yeah, he's a bean.
Zabit was making 145.
That's nuts, man. That's nuts. I got a picture with me with the two of them, and some of the other guys. But they were standing next to me. I'm like, damn, you guys are taller than me, making 135, 145.
Zabit still looks like Abraham Lincoln.
He does.
I love him.
He is, to me, Magomedsharipov could be the future. It's just a matter of what I feel like they're slow playing him. I know he's young, but I don't think there's any area that he lacks. When he fought at 145 for the first time, I was like, man, the guy he's fighting is explosive. The guy he's fighting is, good on the feet, brings the pressure, and I don't want to say he made it look easy, but he dominated that fight. And who was it? How do you say his last name? It's Pyotr Nijelski. Remember his name? Nijelski. Nijelski. But no,
Germany.
He had a really good fight, and he dominated that fight. I was like, wow, at 145, you carry the weight well, and you're able to handle the other fighter's strengths. I mean, Pyotr or whatever was built like a brick shithouse, like stocky, short, big power, threw big punches, and I was concerned for him, but no, he made it look easy. He's the future. Hopefully they can find ways to keep him happy and keep him on board. Any other fights on here, John, you want to talk about?
No, I think it's time to go to the UFC Fight Night from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
The Kingdom.
Go ahead, main event, buddy.
Look, Robert Whittaker, everyone, what are you going to say? Former champion and Robert Whittaker taking on Ikram Aliskerov. This was supposed to be Khamzat Chimaev. Obviously, Khamzat had to pull out. The replacement did not get any easier. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if people have seen Aliskerov fight. His only loss is to Khamzat Chimaev. It was in the Middle East. It was an uppercut that it knocked him out. But every fight I've ever watched Ikram in, this dude's a stud.
Yeah.
He's good, and he's good on the feet. His hands are good. His wrestling is good. Chimaev could not get him down. Chimaev tried multiple times to get him down. That never happened. There was some beautiful work by using the wizard and everything like that. And you see Chimaev getting everybody down. Chimaev even got, Kamaru Usman down. Chimaev can wrestle. And so it's telling you a little bit about Aliskerov. This guy, I'm being honest when I say he doesn't get tired like we've seen with Khamzat. And so in a 5-round fight, this might have gotten harder on Robert Whittaker than it got easier.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you 100%. I've never worked with him. But I've seen him in the room, and the things that I've been able to see him do is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And like you said, he doesn't get tired. He will push the pace. And I was watching an interview that he did when he got the call, And basically Habib called him and said, hey, these are opportunities that you got to take.
Yep.
You can't afford to miss this opportunity.
I agree.
And so he said, okay. And I mean, like, it was literally that fast. These are opportunities you have to take. When your coach calls you like this and says, this is an opportunity you need to take, you're ready, brother. You can do this. And
but it's also
believes.
when you exactly, but you have someone like Habib Nurmagomedov saying, hey, you can do this. It's got to make you feel like my coach thinks I can do it. I can do it. You know, that's something that's got to make you feel like, all right, he believes in me. Why shouldn't I believe in me? And,
because
everything that I've seen from him, I'm being honest, people are in for a treat because he's a monster.
You know, it's going to come down to, I think, how he sets up his takedowns. Robert's going to be a little bit hesitant to pull the trigger because he doesn't want to get taken down and stuck on bottom. And so how does he set him up? He's going to have to bait Bobby Knuckles to actually retaliate. Once he gets the retaliation going and Bobby Knuckles try to take his head off, that's when the takedowns will come easier.
Do
he
you
goes
remember,
out there and tries to shoot raw dog, he's going to have a hard time.
He's not going to shoot raw dog. He doesn't do that.
No.
You know, I've watched him too many times. Do you remember the way that DDP set up Whittaker for his takedowns? The way you're going to see Ikram doing the same thing. He's going to come in, he's going to throw his hands, he's going to put him against the cage, and he will systematically work for the takedown, making him have to fight off the foot sweep, the body lock, all these things to the point where he gets caught one step behind and he's going to end up on the ground.
Yeah. No, I agree. I wonder if he'll be able to get up. If Rob,
Very possible. Very possible.
And on the feet, how comfortable is Ikram against someone who is a very fluid stand-up artist?
He's good. His stand-up is good, Josh.
I'm not saying it's not.
I mean, it's very similar to. He doesn't get credit for it. It's kind of like Islam. Yeah. He doesn't get credit for his stand-up, but he's got good stand-up. And
I was telling all these fools, man, all these hoes, I was telling them for years how good his stand-up was, how good Islam's stand-up was. They didn't believe me.
Until you get punched in the face by him, you can sit there and doubt.
Yeah, I love it.
When he hits you with things that you didn't see, you go, son of a bitch. He's pretty good.
I mean, once again, I proved that I'm never wrong. So easy these days.
Yes.
The internet's undefeated. All right, look, Ikram's got a really good chance as long as he stays on task.
He does.
You know, and I wonder if I know that he's always in shape. He seems to be always in shape, at least when he would come to camps or when I'd see him around.
But he was in camp.
Shape.
He was in camp for this last show. Yeah. He was supposed to be the co-main event.
But 2 more rounds, John.
Yeah, I know, but still.
That does something to you mentally. But look, once your recovery is on, it's on. Like, I know you got to train for 5 rounds, but now you get to fight. Look, let's be honest. Fighters go out there, they don't fight a 3-round fight pace in a 5-round fight.
No.
They let
First round is a lot of feeling out, slow entry.
Yeah.
You know, let's see what you do. Let me see what feints work on you. There's a lot more time in the fight, and fighters use it to establish, okay, this is where I'm going to attack.
And let's also not forget that Bobby Knuckles doesn't fight at a rapid pace. He's not out there just, chasing after you, trying to knock you down. He's not like Sean Strickland on his lead leg. Yeah, he's basically just going to walk and he's going to bounce around in front of you. He's going to try to pot shot you and wait for you to make a mistake and then hit you with a head kick or a body kick or something. So, but I'm looking forward to this. Like, I do agree with you though. This fight got tougher.
I think it did.
I think it did too.
And that's not saying anything against Khamzat, but Khamzat, we've seen him struggle in the later rounds of fights, and those have all been 3-round fights.
I agree.
So,
but you know what though? This could be a great co-main event.
Oh, yeah.
Great co-main event. You got Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. Great fight. It's going to be look, I'm looking forward to. You have 2 heavyweights. They really don't care if they get taken down. Don't want to get taken down, but I don't think either one of them is going to try to wrestle.
I don't think so either.
I think Sergey's going to be on the feet going, look, I'm going to go ahead and block all your little pitter-patter shots and your push kick.
That'll be the difference.
And I'm going to come in. I'm going to take your head off.
So we've got power versus volume.
Yeah.
You're going to see Volkov using that front push kick a lot. He's going to attack the legs. Sergey's really not going to attack the legs much. But he's going to try to land that big shot. And everything he throws has got fucking bad intentions. And if he touches the chin of Volkov, he can put him out. He can put anybody out if he touches the chin. He's a big, strong, powerful human being. the question is, can he get there? And Volkov's got a ton of experience. He's a smart guy.
Volkov reminds me of Semi Schultz.
Yeah, very much.
Just a little bit, Yeah. I don't know what it is. Something about him. The way he fights, the push kick, the long jab, kind of keeps his chin in the air because he's so tall.
Dude, I'll never forget. Semi Schultz was fighting Pete Williams, and Pete Williams takes Semi Schultz down, and Semi Schultz takes his hands and goes crunk and just grabs onto his wrists. Right? And Pete Williams goes to break it. Right? He can't break it.
No,
he tries breaking it. He goes, he's holding me. Like, yes, he is.
There's nothing I can do about that. It's not against the rules.
He goes, what am I supposed to do? Get out. And he was on top. He couldn't do anything with Semi. Semi just sits there and grabs hold and just stays there, man. I was like, well, this is going to be boring.
Nothing you can do. Tony Ferguson did that shit to me.
Yeah,
he grabbed my wrist when he got into the guard, and I was like, I can't do his hands wrapped around my whole my forearm, my wrist area. Yep. And he slid it down into the glove a little bit, and I was like, you son of a bitch. It's just horrible.
Works.
Horrible. And then he elbowed me in the head like a bunch of times. I had three Mercedes-Benz cuts right there. So
it's a navel orange.
Navel on. It looks like actually like a little butthole when you look at it. Look at George scooted in closer. He's like, let me see.
He's looking for it.
With his little small eyes. Trying to see my little butthole on my forehead. All right, that turned dirty real quick. All right, let's go ahead. Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. Fluffy, baby. Let's go. This is going to be a great fight.
Fluffy? What?
Sorry, not
the wrong guy.
Not the fucking one. I do it every single time, John. Every time.
I love it. Fluffy. That's Anthony.
Anthony Hernandez.
Anthony Hernandez.
Jesus, John.
D-Rod, man. You're looking at D-Rod. D-Rod's a good fighter. He's a good stand-up fighter. He's a tough dude to take shots. I'll always like Kelvin Gastelum. He is my Roberto Duran of the MMA world. The real question, this is at 170. Does he make weight? I would hope so. All that it worked out the last time. The fight didn't work out. But Kelvin is he's a gamer. He goes after people. I enjoy watching him fight. He's still a young guy.
Yeah.
Everyone looks and thinks, oh my God, he's been around for a long time. And he has, but he's only 32 years of age.
Yeah.
So, he's got a lot of fight left in him. This is kind of like the Dustin Poirier thing, even though Dustin has a lot more fights, where you look and you go, it seems like he's been around forever. And he gets to that title fight and, just doesn't quite make it or anything. But, I am looking forward to this. I think that, he's got to make up for that loss to Sean Brady. I look at this one, and D-Rod's not a submission guy, so it's not something he has to worry about. Mm-hmm. They're both bangers. They're both going to go out there. I honestly think, Kelvin can use his wrestling. He's got good wrestling to put him on the ground. And if he wants, it's Kelvin's fight to win.
I would agree with you. I mean, if it was Fluffy, though, I maybe would have to disagree a little bit, but jeez. Oh, man. I don't know what it is. I always see D-Rod, and I just automatically go Fluffy. And then I go Anthony Hernandez. I'm like, Fluffy. Everyone's Fluffy these days.
D-Rod.
All right, next fight.
Muhammad Naimov against Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima, very talented. This is when you're talking about bantamweights anymore in this world. I mean, these guys are so freaking good everywhere. And Felipe Lima is just talented.
Is this a featherweight fight?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You said bantamweight.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, it is. It's featherweight. But this is one of those ones where you look at, you go 12-1 against 11-2. Wow.
It's going to be a good fight. The next fight, though, too, is going to be good. Oezdemir versus Johnny Walker.
The real question is what Johnny Walker shows up, what Oezdemir shows up.
Yeah. It's exactly what was going through my mind.
Yeah.
This is one of those fun fights, though, too. I think the two of them are going to go out there and just trade blows.
See, and I think that's good for Oezdemir, and it's not good for Johnny. Johnny needs to be smart about what he does. And
he's been fighting smarter lately, though.
Yes, he has, and that's the whole point. I look at it. This is a fight that Ozdemir's got the better power. Johnny tends to get knockouts off of weird things that happen, and as soon as he hurts someone, he crushes them with hammer fist and everything.
Mhm.
But this is a toss-up fight.
Yeah.
Both of them have their advantages. I think that Johnny Walker's got the length, and that's something that Oezdemir is used to having, but not against Johnny Walker.
Yeah, I think Johnny Walker's going to have the athleticism. You know, he's more of an athlete. He's a bigger, taller, longer guy, I think. He's going to have the reach. He's going to have the length. I think he's going to also probably have the speed. You know, so all those things will work in his favor against Oezdemir, but it like depends on which Oezdemir shows up. If he can touch that chin, he can change the dynamic of this fight real
one
quick.
shot.
Yeah,
he's got that kind of power. So
yeah,
Volkan is he's one of those guys. You know, he'll show up one night and you go, whoa, and then he'll show up in the next fight. You go, whoa, what happened?
Yeah,
you know, and it's just like a belief factor. He's got to believe that he can go out and do it. I think in this one, I think he's going to believe. So,
next fight.
All right, we got Shara Magomedov taking on Jolton Lutterbach. I have seen Magomedov fight. I have not seen Lutterbach, and he's got a lot more fights.
Lutterbach has 50 fights almost.
Yes,
that's a lot of fights, John. And you've got Shara, who's only got 12. He's 12-0. I mean, that's like. I guess when you're matchmaking, the UFC must have saw something in Lutterbach and been like, yeah, this, you know, he might be good enough to beat Shara and we'll figure it out. But if you're trying to build a young star, what are you thinking?
I don't know. You're putting him in a lot of experience there. That's just a lot.
I mean, maybe.
A lot of kickboxing matches also. So he's got a ton of fights.
Man.
Coming off of 2 karate combat wins, too.
Oh, there you go.
Lutterbach, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, my man. Yeah. You know, Shara, there's a lot of hype around him, John. There's a lot going on. You know, you think, like, I've always felt this way about young, talented guys that come in with a little bit of hype behind them. That first fight, you're expected to win. The second fight, you're pretty much expected to win. But your next fight 3, fight 4, this is when the fans are now expecting you to win, but guess what? The level starts to go up a little bit. And when it gets there, are you taking in the hype and believing your own paper clippings? Like that's where that's where you start to separate the better fighters from the not better fighters.
I would tell you that if we look at BetUS on this fight, you're going to see Magomedov at a minus 350.
You think so?
Yep.
I don't know, John. Let's see.
Minus 255.
He said 350. That wasn't even close.
Oh, damn, it was close.
Do you want to take a guess on points? You want to take a guess on over under 2.5?
Over under 2.5. Go ahead, John. Take a guess because I'm looking at it. So that's why I can't guess. I can cheat, ass. I'm looking at it.
Over under 2.5. Let's go. The under is gonna be a minus 180.
No. Under 2.5 is a plus 125.
Plus, huh?
Shara's gonna go the distance. They're thinking. No,
I don't think so.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Oh, that's so funny. Let me see. Take a look at the rest of the card on this one.
Nasrat Haqparast against Jared Gordon. That's a good fight. Haqparast, just kid comes to fight. Good stand up. Yeah, I like that. The one that I really like though is the fight before it. Renat Fakhretdinov against Nicholas the Viking Dolby. I love the Viking.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
these guys are gonna get after it. I mean, Fakhretdinov is someone. He's coming off his first loss, correct?
Yeah,
I believe he is.
Yeah.
No, he had a draw. Sorry, he had a draw against Dos Santos. Zaleski Dos Santos. Majority a draw. But Nicholas Dolby is a dog, man. He's fun to watch. And we saw with Fakhretdinov, he got a little tired in that last fight. Yeah. And he blew his wad kind of in the first round.
Round, yeah. He was dominating in the first round.
He was. And then as the fight went on, he started to slow down a little bit. And I think Nicholas Dolby's got that energy to keep it going. He's fought high-level competition. He can push this pace and get after it. That's going to make for a very fun fight.
That's a good fight.
And like in terms of if you guys are tuning into the prelims, that's probably one that you guys gonna want to get into. Whether you're an Olympic athlete, professional hockey player, MMA world champion, or just an active kid, LMNT helps anyone stay hydrated. Each stick pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients. Get your free sample pack with any LMNT drink mix purchase through link in bio. Also try the new LMNT Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Roll, train, ride, or play, but stay hydrated and stay salty. Look, John, what we didn't do, though, was we didn't do any of the Bet US odds. So we're going to go ahead and do those right now.
Go.
Let's go ahead and we're going to call weighing in on the odds. And so we're going to weigh in on
with Robert Whittaker against Ikram Askarov. What is it? Talk to me, Daddy.
George, you want this or you want me to do it?
I got you guys. Robert Whittaker is coming in at a minus 151. Ikram coming in at a plus 121.
I like it.
Which one are you taking?
I'm taking Ikram.
You're taking Ikram.
Always go with a dog that can absolutely win the fight.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take a look and
I like Bobby Knuckles. I know.
I do love Bobby Knuckles, man. That's what's hard for me on this. You know, and I actually probably would have taken Bobby Knuckles over Khamzat only because it is a 5-round fight. And as we're seeing the 5-round fights, even like the round and a half to 2 rounds for him is a problem. When Khamzat had to fight Usman
Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert.
When he fought Kamaru.
He struggled. He fought Kamaru Usman. He struggled in those later rounds. Now, I don't know if that has to do with his, problems that he's having health-wise, but it seems to be something along those lines.
Yeah, it does.
But the bottom line is Ikram doesn't have that issue. He will be there in the 4th. He will be in there in the 5th. He will be able to pressure this fight. The wrestling will be definitely a key component of this fight. He will fight a smart fight. He will not get off task. And so if I'm going to take that bet, what was that number again? That was a plus 121?
Yeah, plus 121. Yep.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that bet right there.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Look, and if I'm going to go look at the over-under, the over is a minus 150 at 2.5. I think it's going to go over.
So do I.
So look, even though it's a minus 150, I might bet the 150 to win that money. I might, just because I feel like it is going to. I think Ikram's going to take his time in that first round. Let the fight develop. There's 1 round gone already. Okay, you get into that second round, I think he's going to start trying to ramp up the takedowns. And by round 3, he should have found his stride. And he'll be getting in there with the wrestling. He's trying to control the top position, be able to put the work in. He's got power in his hands too. He's no slouch on the feet. I just want to know if Bobby Knuckles is going to be able to throw him off with the feints and the creativity on the feet that we can see. We know Bobby has. So if I'm taking that bet, I will take the over and I'll bet the minus 150 on it. And then I'll also take the plus 121 on Ikram to get the win.
Are you parlaying that?
I could parlay it. I definitely could. And John, you know me, man. I love a punk's parlay, baby.
Boy,
that's how I do it. That's how I do it, bud. So if I was going to do that, I'd probably do something like that. Go ahead and let's say what's the co-main event on that there?
Let's go with Sergey Pavlovich coming in at a minus 220. Alexander Volkov coming in at a plus 180.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right. And I'm not willing to spend that type of money, to be honest, on something like that. So the minus 220 for me on Pavlovich. I got Pavlovich winning that fight. The over-under on that, though, John, the over is a plus 120 of 1.5.
1.5.
That's a plus 120. You think it's going to go longer than a round and a half? It'll go into the third round? No?
I don't. I think,
you don't think it will? So
Pavlovich gets it done.
You'll take the under 1.5 at 150?
Yep.
That's a big bet, man. For me personally, I think because both guys could finish the fight, I'm obviously leaning a lot towards Pavlovich on this fight. I think he's got the power. He's just a thicker, stronger, I think physically stronger fighter. He could get this fight to the ground as well and ground and pound it out if it's not going well for him on the feet. He's got so many more ways to win. I don't like the idea of putting 220 down. because anything can happen in a fight, John, and I'm a cheap bastard. So I'm probably gonna pass on this fight, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the fight below that.
Kelvin, tell me.
Yeah, look, you got Kelvin Gastelum. Go ahead, George. You run this baby.
We got Kelvin Gastelum coming in at a -250. My boy D-Rod, not Fluffy. D-Rod Daniel Rodriguez coming in at a +200.
Damn. I hate when freaking odds makers look at things like I do.
No, it's the worst. It's the worst. Yeah, look, I'm going to take a look at that fight, though. I'm going to probably avoid that fight as well, just because I'm not willing to put that amount of money down on that fight. Now, I will say this, though.
But you can take and do a parlay between Kelvin and Sergey.
Yep.
And that's going to bring those odds down for you.
It will. It definitely will. But look, John, let's go into Volkov Oezdemir versus Johnny Walker. Both are at -115. It's a pick'em fight.
About right.
And that is about right. But I'm actually going to go ahead and say, look, I think the actual more potential of winning this fight is going to be Johnny Walker. The athleticism, the reach, the speed, all of those things, I think I'm going to lean towards Johnny Walker on this fight. So I would probably throw the 115 down, maybe even double up on it, probably go in maybe about 230. I'd probably put that down on there and take the Johnny Walker fight. I think his speed, his reach, his range, his athleticism, all those things will be a big enough factor for him to get that win against Oezdemir.
Last one to know. What is Renat against Nicholas Dalby?
Oh, where's that one at?
We got
there it is.
Nicholas Dalby coming in at a +260. We got Renat coming in at a -360.
So here is the point on this fight. This is where I talk about I love a dog that can absolutely win the fight. Now, Nicholas Dalby's not going to win this fight in the first round, and he's not going to win it in the second round, but he will win it in the third because he will continue to get up and make Renat work. And we've seen Renat get tired. We saw it when he fought Dos Santos there. And so this is the kind of fight that I'll take those kind of odds, and I'll just put, I'll put $50 down on that on Nicholas Dalby because he absolutely can win that.
I would agree with you 100%. I would take the Nicholas Dalby as well at the +260. You don't have to go full 260 on it. You don't have to go full 100 on it. Throw $20 down, throw $25 down. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. The over at 2.5 is a -215. I would agree. You're going to end up going into the third round.
Got to go over.
Yeah, it's going to go over. It's going to go into the third, probably in maybe even to the distance. So that might be a safe bet, but at -215, I might pass on that. But I agree with you, John. I'm always into taking the dogs. Just based on the odds. Throw 20 down, throw 25 down, throw 50, throw 100, whatever it is you feel comfortable with. But I mean, when you're looking at those type of fights, that's a fight that Nicholas Dalby definitely can win. And where is Fakhretdinov at mentally after having a draw like that and dominating the first round and then not being able to push through? Did he work on his cardio afterwards? How did he remedy the situation? But Nicholas Dalby could win this fight. So that's what's going to wrap us up on our weighing in on the odds by BetUS. I want to thank our guys over at BetUS for continuing bringing us the best betting odds in the game right now. Check us out. The link is down below. And that'll go directly to BetUS. You guys can take a look at their betting odds if you guys are looking to join the sportsbook world through the Weighing In podcast. Thanks, guys. And let's see. You know what, John? I actually did. Let's talk about the Platinum Mike Perry and Jake Paul. I want to take a look at those odds. They said those odds would be up in about 15 minutes, and that was about an hour ago. Let's take a look. Can you pull those up for us there? Keto George. I mean, John, we already talked about that. That will be a clip that we release here probably sometime either tomorrow or the next day about that fight. That's a big time fight that they put together. And we did a full breakdown, not just of the fight, but of the full situation going on with that Mike Perry and Jake Paul thing. But before we go on and he pulls up as George is looking for the odds here, want to let you guys know, hey, we're going to be go ahead and offering subscriptions basis. So $1.99 for the emoji and give you guys the opportunity to give us comments while we do our live shows, which we will be doing more of. And also we offer a second tier system one at $4.99 that's opened up now. And so with that one, we will be offering memorabilia and signed memorabilia or weighing in shirts or sweaters or whatever sent to you guys, through whatever it is we're doing for that month. So if we're doing prizes and giveaways has to do with something that we're going to be offering throughout that month. So I just want to let you guys know. Please subscribe to us down below. They're on the YouTube channel. I want to thank you guys for always continuing to support us. Also, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. What do you got for us there, Keto George? You didn't find it yet? No Mike Perry.
Did you happen to see the video that came out of Mike Perry at the restaurant?
I did see that.
Yes. I thought, was it old?
I don't know how old it was.
I don't know, because he was all shaved and clean cut, and I haven't seen him shaved and clean cut in a long time.
Well, from what I was told, it was recent, but it's a matter of, knowing that if it is recent and knowing that this fight was in negotiations, I can understand a little bit of his being amped, just a little bit, a little pressure there, wanting something to happen, not sure you're going to get what you want, not sure it's all the pertaining parties are going to come together and make things happen.
I like Mike Perry a lot. You just gotta be cautious. I think when you're becoming a name, you're becoming a face of an organization.
Got to stop.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Walk away, dude. I saw, and look, I know you. It's one of those. There comes a point that you're gonna end up paying here, and it's usually with your money, your hard-earned money, that someone doesn't deserve. Just walk away from them.
John, I've said this, I don't know how many times, to a lot of people. They're like, oh, would you fight someone on the streets? Would you fight them in the bar? And then I said, when I was younger, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's got to a point, though, where as you get older, and as I was getting better and older in fighting, basically what I said was the money I'd have to pay them out was money I earned by getting punched in the face. Every dollar I've ever made pretty much came from me and punched in the face. I try to explain to people, I haven't had a real job since I was like 19 years old. 20 years old, I think I left that job, and because I was getting signed by the UFC. So I left when I was like 21 and just focused strictly on fighting and training and all of that. And so when I left all of that, like, it was a big deal. And every dollar I've made since then has been from something that I did by getting punched in the face. Mike Perry's in that situation. Don't allow these people to take your money. And that's hard-earned money that you've dedicated your life to. Don't allow that. Don't allow. I wish I had somebody when I was younger to sit me down and tell me, which I did. I had Trevor Prangley do it. Javier tried a couple of times. My own father tried to tell me a couple of times. But it was hard to hear when you're 24, 27, 28, and you're thinking to yourself, nah, I'm good. Everyone knows me. I can get away with it. No.
Oh, I got away with it until I didn't, and I had to pay.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm not paying. I'm never allowing someone to take my money again.
No. George, what you got for us? You got something?
Yeah, speaking of taking money, we got Mike Perry coming in at a plus 195, Jake Paul at a minus 235.
Ooh, I like it. See, again, I take the guy that can win the fight, who is the dog, and he's a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying if Jake Paul's going to win this, he's going to win it on points.
Yeah.
He's going to take rounds and win those rounds. Okay. But Mike Perry has the ability to put him on his can. He has the ability to hurt him in the fight. He has the ability to finish the fight. I take Mike Perry.
Yeah, we did a full breakdown on this, so you guys have to wait for that to drop. Hopefully it drops either tomorrow or the next day, but regardless, it's a full breakdown on that. But here's what I'm going to say real quick. Like John said, when there's a dog that can win the fight, I'm going to take that dog, and I don't have to put the full money down at 236 or whatever it is, or 100 to win 236. I'll throw $20 down, I'll do $50 down. It makes sense. Because I believe Mike Perry, when I saw this fight happen, I'm like, ooh, Jake Paul might have picked the fight with the wrong Mike. That's exactly what I thought. I know he picked it with Mike Tyson, which I thought was also the wrong Mike, but then I put in the age of Mike Tyson being 58 years old, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe that's a good call. Maybe it's not. But this Mike Perry, this one with confidence, this one with power, this one that in an 8-round fight, he can fight hard for for a good 5 or 6 of those rounds and put a beating on you. And we haven't had to see Jake Paul dig deep. We haven't had to see him in a lot of trouble where someone's actually laid hands on him and made him feel the fear. Now, I know they used to spar together, but the bottom line is I think Mike Perry has a really good chance of winning this fight. And confidence is key. He is so confident because he's the face of an organization. So that coming into play is going to be a big deal. Mike Perry is representing bare knuckle boxing. Now, I know it's a boxing match, but he's representing that I am a gridiron type fighter, someone that's going to come in there and lay it on the line. Are you the same kind of guy? Are you going to man up and do what I do? Or are you going to try to fight me, or are you going to try to get on your bike and run? He's going to put Jake Paul in that scenario and situation. It just depends on how Jake Paul handles it mentally.
There's only one way this scenario. Jake's going to be there. Jake's going to be on his back foot.
Yeah.
Mike Perry doesn't go backwards. You know, he'll take a step back to change the angle, but he's always coming forward. He is a forward pressure fighter, and I've seen too many other fighters fighting Jake who can make Jake go backwards. So this will be Mike Perry going forward. Jake's going to be on his back foot. He's going to have to fight that way. Volume will be key for him, but look out for the big shots from Mr. Mike Perry, because the platinum one can pop.
John, we got a lot of big time fights coming up through the summer, man. I'm looking forward to it.
We do.
This is another one we just added to it, and I'm excited about it. So, hey, guys, I want to thank you guys for so much for listening for the pod. And, John, take us away, bud.
For everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. Again, if you want us to really listen to what you're saying on the thing, no, just kidding.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to our channel, and we will see you.